So for my primer today, I'm going to use something that I've been using the last few days when I've done my makeup, and it is the Liquid Cat. Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. Thanks so much for joining me today. I am going to be playing with a new palette today, but just before Thanksgiving, I got the At Forest Sight palette from ColourPop and Raw BeautyKristi. And I was super excited to get this palette because I thought I had waited too long and it was sold out. But they actually just had the palettes in stock, and so I got that even though I wanted the liners. So hopefully I can lay my hands on those at a later date. Now this is not strictly a first impressions because I did wear this yesterday for Thanksgiving and was super pleased with the look that I got out of this. And so I'm going to kind of recreate that look today, I think, minus the fact that I had a dress on that had some purple in it, and so I put some purple on my lid and like a sparkly purple from Monique Boulay, and I will link the video where I reviewed some of her shadows up above. But for today, I think I'm just going to stick with the Raw BeautyKristi palette, and we're going to kind of recreate the look that I did yesterday, or at least I'm going to try. And I was really happy with how everything turned out. I will say that there is really a lot of kick up in the pan in this eyeshadow palette, and I'm not sure exactly how many of these are pressed pigments, but I think the only one is Amanita, which is this purple one right here, because it has a little star next to it, so I think that's the only one that's not suitable for eyes, except that it really is. I hope everybody had a nice Thanksgiving. I certainly did. My sister-in-law did the cooking, and or most of the cooking, and I really appreciated that. And it was great. She did a great job. So anyway, okay, I am going to scoot in and we are going to get started. So today for my primer, I'm going to be using something that I've been using for the last few days, and this is not strictly a primer, but I had this and I thought I'm going to give it a try as a primer, and it seems to work out pretty good. It's not as sticky as most eye primers, but this is the Liquid Catsuit from Wet n Wild, and I don't know if they still make these or not, but I have the shade Sandman, which is just, it's a little bit darker than my skin tone, but it's basically just kind of a, you know, skin color, at least my skin color. So far I've been pretty happy with the way things are laying over it, and so we're just going to use that today. You know, I'm on my eyeshadow primer journey here, and so far I haven't found like the perfect one. I've got good ones, no doubt about it, but it would certainly be nice to find the holy grail of eye primers. If you have a suggestion, I would love to hear it. Yesterday when I went in to do my look, I started out with the color Old Growth, which is this nice sort of pinky color. Now, strictly speaking, I don't think that that was really necessary because I did end up going over it with other colors, and so, you know, as it's a beautiful transition shade. I mean, it's a lovely pink color, and just super soft, and if you like that kind of thing for your transition color, this is definitely going to be your jam. But for today, I think I'm going to start off with the color Chanterelle, and this is the yellow one, and I really like this. So I've got a couple of places to go today. I must be out of my ever-loving mind to go out on the day after Thanksgiving, but maybe it won't be too bad. Maybe it will be, you know, not like, of course, let's be honest, nothing in 2020 is like anything we've seen before, so maybe this time it will be a little bit different. So I'm just blending this into my crease and almost up to my brow bone. I love these sort of dirty mustardy colors, and I'm super happy that Kristi decided to to put one of these in her palette because they're just so, I don't know, they're just so yummy. I really like that color. I will, of course, link Kristi's channel down below, although I can't imagine that you're here and you've never seen or heard of Raw BeautyKristi, but she is just, there's just something about her that I just love. I don't know exactly what it is, but you know, she's a little different and she's funny and she's beautiful, of course, at least I think she is. And she has the most amazing, like, eyes. Like, seriously, her eyes are just mesmerizing. So, yeah, I don't know. If you haven't heard of her, I don't know what you're doing with your life. Stop what you're doing right now. Go watch some of her channels. She is like, I think she's like a week away from having her long-awaited baby. She and her husband have been trying for a really long time to have a baby, and it is finally happening for them, and I'm super excited. I don't even know her, and I'm super excited for her. I am going to go into the shade Fiddlehead, which is this sort of lovely mossy olivey green. The thing that I really like about this color as opposed to other mossy olivey greens that I have in my collection, at least most of them that I can think of off the top of my head, is that it actually looks green on the eye. And a lot of times olivey ones will, they just, I don't know, they lose their greenness. And that annoys me so much. I am putting this in the crease, focused a little bit more, and then of course I will blend it out a little bit. And like I say, these shadows do have a lot of kick up and a little bit of fallout as well. Just something to be aware of. It does not bother me because I always do my eyes first and I clean up before I, you know, put on my face makeup. So yesterday when I did my look, I focused more on the color PNW, Pacific Northwest, which is more of a blue because I had blue in my dress and, you know, wanted to do the whole matchy-matchy thing. But today I'm going to go into Emerald City, which is the one that's more of a green, more of a teal green. And we're going to put this on the outer, oh, let's do the outer half or so of my eye. I find these kinds of colors difficult um, to work with sometimes, and it's not anything to do with the formula or anything, because if you've bought ColourPop shadows before, you know that they're pretty consistently good. But they do take a little effort, you know, to build up and blend out and so on, but I think they are worth the effort. So I'm just doing kind of a combination of patting and little sort of, oh, circular, sketchy kind of motions here in the outer corner. So I think that's a really nice color. It looks a little more intense in real life than it does on my screen here on my monitor. So hopefully in the video you will be able to see the trueness of it. But I think that's a super pretty color. And let's see, do I want to re-intensify that? I think I'm going to re-intensify that Chanterelle color just a little bit. just because I did do quite a bit of blending there, and so I'm just gonna very lightly with a little tiny brush go right along that perimeter of the shadow and kind of over it, just to marry those various greens and this yellow, which I really like and I don't want to lose. I'm going to go back into Fiddlehead with that same little brush, and I'm just going to put a little bit more of that in my crease, especially on the inner half to 2/3 here. I'm going to take a little bit of glitter glue. This is the two-faced one, and I am going to put that on basically on the naked part here of my eye, just to give something for the next color that I'm going to use to really stick to. And this is a beautiful color that I'm going to use, and I want to get the most out of it. I'm going to try just using my brush right at first, and then if I need to, I'll either use my finger or I will spray or something. So I'm going to go into the color Evergreen, which is this color right here, which is this really pretty sort of duochrome gold, green, brown shadow. It's really, really pretty. Really, let me see if I can swatch it. I'm not a good swatcher, so forgive me. But I think that's a really pretty, I love colors like this anyway. Okay, so I'm just going to use that same brush, and picked up nicely. And I am going to start in the center because that's where I want most of it. That is really pretty. And I'm just doing the whole sort of patting, swiping kind of motions here. And I like to go up pretty far into my crease, maybe just a little above, so that if I get transfer, well, there's already shadow there, so you don't really notice it. That is such a pretty color. I'm going to take that little tiny brush again, and I'm just going to go sort of back and forth right where those two colors meet. And just kind of try to swirl those together a little bit so we have a nice blend. I think I'm going to take that same brush and I'm going to go back into Emerald City, which is that dark teal green, and I'm just going to add a little bit more. And then just very, very lightly sketch that over that join. Yeah, I like that. I think that is going to do it for this look. I mean, seriously, super pretty colors, kind of, you know, foolproof. You could do something like this that's quite colorful and smoky and stuff, or you could do something that's really neutral, because there's some really nice neutral shades in this palette. But I like that it's so, what's a good word? It's so earthy, the shades in it and stuff. The only color that I'm not like thrilled with, and that's just because it's not a color preference of mine, is this gold one right here called West Coast. And there's nothing wrong with the color, it's just not a color that I reach for very often. And so I'm like, yeah, I could have probably lived without that color. But honestly, it's a nice color. There's nothing wrong with the color. That is for sure. It's very, very intense, and let me do a little swatchy there. And yeah, it's just super pretty. but not typically a color that I reach for, that I gravitate towards. So I'm just going to finish cleaning up under my eyes. I am going to put on liner and mascara and lashes and all that jazz and finish with the rest of my face, and I will be back in a few minutes and I will give you some, I'll let you see the final look, share what I put on my face, and give you a few final thoughts about the Raw BeautyKristi and ColourPop collaboration palette. I'll be right back, guys. Hi guys, I'm back and I have got the rest of my face on, and I went ahead and finished getting dressed and did my hair and stuff. But before I get into the At Foresight palette from ColourPop and Raw BeautyKristi, I did want to share what I put on the rest of my face today. So for my foundation, I went in with the Origins Pretty in Bloom foundation, and I have the shade 230 Light Neutral, and I love this foundation. This is definitely one of my favorite finds for 2020. So there is something good about 2020. It's hard to find, but you know, this is one of them. For my bronzer, I went in with an oldie but goodie, and this is the Too Faced Chocolate Soleil bronzer. This is the Milk Chocolate Soleil, and nice color. Smells like kind of a vanilla chocolatey scent. I personally don't care anything about having my products smell like food, but you know, some people are really into that. For my blush, and actually I did add a little bit of the bronzers from this palette as well. Let me show you real quick. So this is the Hoursglass Ambient Lighting Ghost Edition. This was last year's, I think, holiday palette. And I went in with a little bit of this bronzer as well, just because it's got a little bit of a shimmer to it, a little bit of a sheen. And then for my blush, I went in, I basically just kind of smooshed these three things together and put it on my face. And yeah, I like this palette a lot. I know Hourglass is kind of in the hot seat right now. I'm not sure why. I don't follow too much of that, but I think it has something to do with not offering enough like shade range for folks, which I agree. Their products are beautiful. Why would you not want to appeal to everybody that you possibly could? I don't get it. For my highlighter, I went in with the Danessa Myricks and Light highlighter. This is in the shade Angel Wings. I've used this many times on my channel before. It's a really pretty kind of a peachy golden, very, very shimmery, sparkly. I hope I didn't just spill it all over my pants. And for my liner, I went in with the ColourPop gel liner, and this is in the shade Catsuit. I would have liked to have used the liners from Raw BeautyKristi's collection at ColourPop, but they were all sold out, so that will have to wait until another day. But I love the colors because there's a brown, a green, and a yellow, and so I'm excited to put my hands on those if I can. For this palette, I mean, so far this is only the second time that I've worn it, and I did go in under my eyes with the color Puffball, which is this one right here, and added a little bit of the Emerald City, which is the color I put on the outside of my eye. I just went in nice and tight, and then I just kind of buffed those two colors together and out a bit. I'm really pleased with it. The only colors that I have not played with yet to any extent at all is this color right here, which is called Homegrown, and this color right here, which is called Let It Rain. Homegrown looks like a really nice, just a nice sort of ruddy brown color, and I'm excited to use that. Let It Rain is basically a black with like little tiny reflex in it that are, gosh, I don't know, pink and let's just go with pink, pinkish purple, and it's really pretty. I don't know how this will translate on the eyes, but you know, I'm kind of interested to try it. Just like finger swatching it on the back of my hand, it looks nice, and it looks like the glitter will stay, and it's a nice rich color, so I'm kind of intrigued by that. That's not normally the kind of color that I go through that I go for, just because the reflex always tend to want to blend away. So this might be more of a padding, like nice and tight, dense brush, that kind of thing. That may be the best way to get the most out of that color. I don't know. I will either play with it again on camera, or I will let you know somehow what I think of those two colors, especially because I have not played with them. I hadn't even swatched them yet. So I'm, they're beautiful on the back of my hand, so we'll assume that they're going to be beautiful on the eyeballs as well. I really like this palette. This color scheme is right up my alley because it's colorful, but it's got kind of a grungy look to it. I love this yellow in here. I love a yellow like that, and I love this green up here because it's actually like a green. It's like an olivey green, but it shows up green on the eyes. And this shimmer is really pretty. It's not maybe as foiled as I might expect, but I used the glitter glue, and I feel like I got good payoff with it. So I don't really have anything to complain about. And most of the time you can't tell when you swatch something on your finger, the back of your hand, or whatever. That gives you an indication of how it's going to look on your eyes, but it's not like the end of the story. So I always think, if something looks good on my eyes, that's what counts. That's the important thing to me. I am definitely not sorry that I bought this palette. I believe this little guy is going to be, I think the whole collection is going to be back in stock on the 11th of December. I think that's right. And so if it is, and if you're at all interested in these colors from this palette, which I think is really, really pretty, and my God, the artwork is so cute. I mean, it's so cute. And I love cute packaging, but it's not the be all end all. I'm not going to not use something because I think the packaging's ugly or anything like that, but it's nice to have something that's super cute. We'll probably not purchase the Super Shock shadows just because I have quite a few, and I know they're beautiful, but just looking at the swatches that Kristi did and other people have done, it's just not what I need right now in my collection. But the Super Shock shadows are really, they're nice. I mean, they really are. They're nice. Doesn't matter if you buy the more sparkly ones or the more topper like ones or the matte ones or whatever. I mean, ColourPop just does a good job in general, especially for the price point and everything. I think, I so far have not been disappointed in anything that I have purchased from ColourPop, other than a couple of eyeliners that were less than stellar. I can't think of anything else to say about this particular palette, and there's like a gazillion reviews out there, and people in general are really loving this palette. And Kristi doesn't know who I am, but I'm going to give her a big shout out anyway, because I think she's having an amazing year, and this is a fantastic palette. I'm hoping to lay my hands on the Pure one as well, her collaboration with Pure, but so far I have not picked that up. But we'll see. Those things are limited edition, so it might show up in my collection and it might not. But I definitely missed out on that one the first time around. I think that is going to do it for today. Thanks so much for joining me today, guys. I really appreciate your time here. Don't forget to like and subscribe, ring that bell so that you are notified every time I upload a new video, which is about 3 times a week, and I'm hoping to do a little bit more over the holiday season. And I have some good plans for the coming year, in which I hopefully, and I mentioned this in a kind of a chatty get ready with me video, I'm hoping to explore and rediscover my collection and try to dial back the purchases and to just, I don't know, reinvest myself in my collection and rediscover things that I forgot I had. Maybe get rid of some things that I just don't reach for, that I don't like, that I never liked. Just enjoy what I've got, and like I say, just kind of rediscover things. That will probably include things that you can't get anymore. But you know, we've all got things like that in our collections. I'm sure things that you can't get anymore. But yeah, I think that's going to do it for today, guys. Thanks so much for joining me. I really appreciate your time here. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you liked it, and subscribe if you are enjoying this content and any other content that you may have seen here. And until next time, I'll see you in my next video. Bye, guys.